Well guys, the lean, mean, weed-eating machine is up and running. We are in the organic soybeans today, and you know, I think after, what, 3 or 4 years of running this organic cultivator and bringing you guys along through the process, I think we've kind of gotten this thing finally to a point where hopefully it's in its final form. It's gone through a lot of forms. So this year, what's different than last year is right here. We added these lift assist wheels. I see this one is leaking a fair amount. It's kind of covered in hydraulic oil. But we added those because when we added the finger weeders last year, this cultivator got too heavy for the 8410T to lift it. And we wanted to continue to use the 8410T for the organic. That's kind of why we bought it. So we took it to a machine shop, we put on these lift assist wheels, and now it lifts it just fine. And then also we added AutoPath to our precision ag implementation of the farm. So when the planter planted, there was a receiver in the planter, recorded where every row is. So this is the first year my dad has not had to steer this cultivator manually. He's doing it all GPS, and it looks to be doing a fantastic job. I mean, I can't get much more dead center of the row right there. It's always really cool for me to see this cultivator here out in the field, because cultivating something that I didn't grow up with, and I feel like most people in my generation didn't grow up with, but it's something that his generation grew up doing almost every single day. You know, he tells me stories about them sitting on the 3020 with an 8-row cultivator, and that was what they did all summer. And it's really cool to see that come back into a more modern form with a lot more technology. That's the kind of things that I like. So the AutoPath's working good.
Yeah, I haven't steered the whole farm.
Very glad to hear that. I'm glad this is working better than the sprayer. The sprayer, it's not working the greatest on. I recalibrated it all last night, so we'll see what Chris says about it today. But
I'm just a little nervous because my drug it worked so good, and then it stopped working good.
Oh, when you're drag or on this.
Rotary hoeing, I think.
Oh, rotary hoeing. Well, there was a while there where the base station was down for like 5 days.
A weekend, yeah.
I have not been impressed with that this year. Base stations keep going down, but do you know that there's a plug missing from your lift assist?
You mean that squirting oil?
Yeah.
Yeah, the seals went out of that cylinder, so.
Okay.
That's what I've been doing this morning, is trying to order a new seal. I got the seals ordered. I think I can order a new cylinder. I need my calipers to make sure I got. I should probably order a cylinder too to have. And without it, I can't do much.
Yeah. Yeah, you cannot. This will not lift it.
And I can't really stop. So with that seal gone, I don't know if it's gonna. Every 2 days, get the seal kit. I'm probably not gonna stop anyway until I get everything cultivated.
Yep.
I don't know what the bore will look like, the cylinder will look like. After it's been scraped in there for 3 days. I think it was fine. I think it blew yesterday.
Okay.
We're gonna make a drain hose because.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I was interrupting. Where'd you find that?
At John Deere.
Oh, you bought one?
Yeah.
I have all the equipment to make one for like 10 cents. How much does that cost?
It probably wasn't cheap, but I kind of needed one.
Yeah, well, you should have just told me. I would have made one. I haven't had time the last 2 days, but I would have got that for
We'll
you.
always use it.
Okay. Hey, why do you need a drain hose?
Because it's spraying my cultivator with oil, so every time I go to work on something, I'm full of oil.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of not okay. Because at 2.5 miles an hour, I'm going to be here a long time.
say, you used to sit in here with your headphones on and steering the whole time. Now you're sitting in here, you're on Ag Talk, you're reading your book, you're listening to the radio.
I'm thinking back to 25 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, so I was talking about this before I got the tractor. So you had a 30/20 with 8-row on it.
Yeah.
Did you ever have anything on the 70/60s? You have 12
Yeah, we had
rows?
16 rows.
Oh, you have 16 rows, okay. So you had 3 going at one time, or was 8-row first?
When I was a boy, we had 2 8-row Massey's that were, scrap iron.
Yeah.
Like Dad, my uncle bought them new, and they were I never heard anything good about them. That's kind of before my time. I guess they just wouldn't stay in adjustment. You adjust them and then they move. Yeah, so we had the 30/20 with that Vibertine or that S-Time cultivator. I did a lot of cultivating. My brother bought the first 16-row, I think, in 78 or 9.
That was a John Deere then?
Yeah, my dad was so mad that Kevin bought that himself. He was 18.
Huh. Was it 856 or what was it?
No, it was an 85.
85.
Which, I mean, they had no trash clearance, but when you set them, they usually stayed adjusted, but they were on a round tube, so yeah, things will move too, but you weren't adjusting it all the time.
Yeah. Well, the 856s they're kind of a 90s thing, or when were these made?
Yeah.
90s?
Probably, yeah.
Have you looked into, like, if we do expand and we need another cultivator, like, is there any new ones you can buy that are worth a dang, or do you still want 856?
Talk to some of the West Bend guys. They're buying all new cultivators.
Okay.
I know they're going to all single sweep, but I just don't know how that works.
These 856s, we love them, but they're kind of getting hard to find. And the ones you can find are worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, you think somebody would make a good 3-shank cultivator again? I don't know. Yeah, I think all we ever had 285 16 rows. I don't remember. We had a Vibershank for a while, but that was an old. That one folded ahead and then up, and into your wings were by your cab when you went down the road.
Huh.
But no, that's all we ever had.
Let's look at this autopath. Like, it even does the end rows and everything. Don't know what you're going to do right there. Have fun with that.
I'll figure it out.
Okay. Where the rows that join on the headlands, it gets kind of complicated with a cultivator. It's not like a sprayer boom where you just hang it over top. You're going to take something out.
The biggest problem we got is I hear it's pretty good. There's areas where the beans are not very even, and I got to go so fast. Like where you were there, that's where the grass is, so I had to go fairly fast and covering some. Yeah. So it's going to hurt our yield a little bit. We don't have there's gaps.
Yeah, we planted these soybeans like 2 1/4 inches deep, trying to hit moisture, and we still didn't hit moisture across the whole planter. There's little gaps here and there. Overall, it looks pretty good.
There are some beans coming in, but the problem is we got enough rain to swell them twice, and they shrunk again.
What does that do?
Well, they kind of lose their. I think if they swell too much and they dry, then they crack, then they're dead. Like some of these swelled and got smaller again, swelled, got smaller again, and now the third time, there's still some beans, but they don't look very healthy.
Yeah.
It's coming through you.
Kind of lost their vigor.
Yeah, I don't know, they're just, maybe I'm hoping some of these gaps get a few more beans, but it's livable. It just probably took the top 5% off, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like I say, you can't really do any good cultivating unless you cover some, so.
The finger weeders seem to be doing a really good job in these too, though.
Yeah, I think they're covering some, they're uncovering some, so.
Seem to be a little mound in the row, though.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's problem is real thin. There's 1 or 2 beans coming, and they're small, and then those are probably the ones that are getting covered.
Yep.
But you got to be doing some good when you're out here too.
Okay, so a week has gone by roughly since you guys have seen the footage of the row crop cultivator, and I thought, you know what, it just gonna be kind of cool to show you guys what's all going on with the organic crops, because you really haven't seen them yet this year. So we're gonna take a little tour. What's the chance this old four-wheeler actually starts? Right up. Didn't even bother it. So first place we're going to stop is the organic soybean field. So I did not plant any of the organic fields except for the soybean field. I was gone when my dad planted the corn fields, and we had to plant these soybeans extremely deep because the moisture, I don't remember if I said this in the first video or not, but the moisture is really deep. So we planted these soybeans like 2¼ inches deep, which is for soybeans is really deep. And they didn't all come up because there wasn't enough moisture to ground. But now that we have had some moisture and some rain, there is some new soybeans coming up in the gaps where it was left. So like there was moisture there, the soybeans came up right away, but these ones are just kind of starting to pop up. So we're glad that these are still popping up because they'll still yield something and they'll add to the bottom line. But it makes it kind of hard to cultivate because when we go through, we like to cultivate fast, but we can't go too fast as we'll cover these little ones up, but not the big ones. So we won't be any further than we were in the first place. But in terms of weed pressure, I mean, the soybeans look fantastic. I mean, look at this. This is a big gap where all these little soybeans are coming in right here. Kind of impressive, actually. But weed pressure in the soybean field is actually really good. I mean, there's hardly anything. I'm even like looking underneath the plants. There's a little bit of something right there. Might have actually been some volunteer corn. Yeah, looks really good. Now what's really cool to see is the peas, which are right next door here. So I'm gonna hop over there. Look at these weird looking things. The goose really like to sit out here. Every time I drive by, they're out here. So I know there's quite a few people interested in seeing the peas and wanted some updates, and sorry I haven't provided any yet. I've been out here basically one time, and that was to pick rock, but other than that I have not been out here because there's not really much to do here. You know, the guy that we hired, he came and planted it. He did a very, very nice job. And then like the next day my dad dragged this to get rid of some of the weeds on top. And other than that and rock picking, we haven't really done much. Now the reason we rock picked this field, and we rock picked it really well, is because of the pea combine. I have no idea what a pea combine looks like, but this is just what we were told from the canning factory. That what's going on over there? Neighbor's making noise. But the pea combines, they get the head really, really, really low to the ground, and they said that it will bring in rocks like nothing else. So they said, make sure your field is very clean. So we went over this field very well, cleaned it up as good as we possibly could. And the really, really rocky spot, which is over there, we had a neighbor come and he rolled it for us to get those rocks pounded down. Weed pressure here is not quite as good as we'd like it. In fact, right here's a couple little buggers. Pull those out. But because these are planted in 7-inch rows, there's really nothing that we can do to prevent these weeds from coming up and kill them. So we're just kind of hoping that they come and combine this field before a lot of these weeds put on seed heads, because we're hoping that they come and combine it middle of July. It might be more towards the end of July. We're not quite for sure. This field did not get planted as soon as we wanted it to, but gosh, there's a lot of, is that a grass or a nutsedge? More like a grass. There's a little bugger right there. That's a pea. Yeah, I don't know, it's just not quite as good as we would have liked it to be. But our plan is when they combine it, we're gonna be able to come in and do a pass of tillage on it and kill all those weeds. I don't know if we're planning on planting a cover crop after that or not. If we'll just leave it fallow. Don't know yet. And it's just kind of one of those things where we'll see kind of what the time brings and what the weather's like and everything. But hopefully they combine this soon enough where we can get those weeds just underneath before they create seed heads. This pass is kind of bad right here. I guess I came in here and I never even showed you what a pea looks like up close. It's kind of this weird looking plant because it has these leaves along the stem, but underneath each leaf is this tangly thing. It gets tangled with all the other plants around it. Like there's literally knots in there. So I'm guessing the peas are all going to grow on these little strings, but I don't know. I've never seen a pea plant before. Yeah, they get really tangled together. All right, and then one of our 2 cornfields is over here. They look absolutely gorgeous. I gotta show you guys this cornfield. Corn's big enough, a little backfire. Corn's big enough, I dare not drive it very far. So last year, this particular field was half soybeans and half sweet corn. So the soybeans is on this side, sweet corn was on that side. And this year we planted it all corn. I was gone for planting this. My dad did a vlog of him planting this field. So if you want to check that out, I will leave that up in one of the corners here. But this field looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's just this beautiful dark green color all the way across the field. And the weed pressure here is basically 0. I mean, this field just looks amazing. So we drugged this field shortly after we planted it, and then my dad came back and row crop cultivated it, of course, and it looks amazing. And it doesn't look quite as good as our conventional fields do. They never do. The organic corn never quite germinates as well as the treated non-organic corn. So every once in a while you see a plant missing, or you see a plant that's a little smaller than the rest of them, like this one right here. But it's still really, really nice. As long as we don't dry out, which, I mean, right now we're sitting pretty good. We could use a little bit of a rain, but I don't want to complain too much because I know Illinois and large parts of South Dakota and stuff are really, really, really dry. But as long as we don't dry out, we could have a heck of a crop this year. I'm part of a organic farming group on Facebook, and I see them using, you know, the electric weed zappers and the flamers and everything. And if you farmed a lot of organic acres, you'd probably need one of everything or 2 of everything. It's just organic farming is a very, very equipment heavy way of farming. You wouldn't think so, but it's definitely more equipment heavy than non-organic farming is, or conventional farming. But I'm pretty impressed with what my dad has been able to accomplish on this organic field, or on all of the organic fields, with only a drag that is basically self-built and a row crop cultivator, which we basically custom built as well. I mean, they're John Deere 856 units, but we've done a lot of work to the bar and stuff to make that cultivator work really, really good. So, you know what, in honor of Father's Day, which was here a couple days ago, thank you, Dad, for doing an awesome job, because this is amazing. And then our other organic cornfield, which this is going to be the first year that one is out of transition. So that was one that we put oats and rye into last year. I think we had 2 different, I think we had oats and rye in it last year. And I had made a video of us combining it and stuff. That field looks very good as well. Very little weed pressure in those. It's a pea one that we're really worried about. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.